Today we're going to tie a couple of hair turbans. How do you wear a hair turban without looking like a fortune teller? I always get complaints when I say that I don't want to look like a fortune teller. In fact, I found myself in quite a battle on Instagram where somebody really wanted to dig in and defend fortune tellers. I have nothing against fortune tellers. I just don't want to look like I'm in a fortune teller costume. How about that? I want to look pretty and effortless and like a French girl hanging out at a cafe who just threw this on her head. She just tied it so effortlessly and she looks beautiful, and that's what I want. So how do I do it? Well, I don't know if I'm ever going to look as effortless and as gorgeous as a French girl at a cafe, but I can tell you how I do a head turban, and it's not complicated. It does require a large enough scarf. I'm going to use two examples. I'm going to use my Mari scarf, and I'm going to use my larger Fiona scarf. And we're going to check out two different headscarf colors. And this will give you a chance to see me tie it twice, because I think it does take a little practice. Don't give up. You're going to need a headband. I know complaints about headbands giving headaches. You really have to shop around because there are plenty of headache-free headbands these days. So far, I've been having really good luck with this braided one, but I'm going to source some and tag them down below for you, some headache-free headbands that I personally liked. And I have a pretty big head. So there's two ways you could do this. You could start with the headband, or you could start with the scarf. The first example, we're going to start with the headband. You should use a headband for both of these because the headband is what keeps it in place on your head. So go ahead and get all your hair going the same direction. Okay, start by pulling all of your hair off of your face. Let's start with Mari, okay? You want the triangle shape. In fact, if you are a person who leaves the tags on your scarves, the ones that say 100% silk, I just didn't cut the one off of this yet. I usually cut them off, but if you don't cut them off, what you want to do is fold it so that this is going to be at the tip of the triangle that goes over your forehead, because it's going to be tucked behind, and that will allow that tag to be safely tucked in. Okay, so here's my tag. Here's the top of the triangle, and here's the longer part of the triangle. And now I'm going to take that smaller part of the triangle, and I'm going to put it over my headband in this situation. See that tag already popping out? That's nice. I'm just going to put it over my forehead down to about my nose. And now this is going to take a little bit of coordination because I have to kind of hold it up here, okay? And I'm going to bring the other parts around like this. And then I'm going to leave it up there, and hopefully it stays. If not, I have to start over. Okay, so what we're trying to do is get these other parts on top of that triangle. Give it a knot. Got it? Then you're going to take your little triangle and you're going to tuck it up behind the knot you just tied. Really get it under there. Okay, now you have these two things. This is not a long enough scarf that I can tie it again behind my head. So what I would do is start to roll it and kind of tuck it into itself and tuck it under here. Okay, and this is the part where somebody says, yes, but how do you get it to stay on your head? Well, already it's staying on my head pretty nice, but this is what I do. So first of all, this looks plenty fine like this, but what I like to do is show just a little bit more hair. And I think that makes it look a little more like decorative and not like I'm hiding anything. And if you are hiding something, that's okay too. I just like a little bit more hair showing up here. I just scrunch a little bit out to be a little bit looser. And sometimes I'll take my bobby pin and I'll just pull just a little fluff of hair here so it doesn't seem so stiff. So it's a little softer, just a little tiny bit, a few hairs. Okay, then you take your bobby pin. just a regular old bobby pin, but you really have to separate it, okay? I don't want you to damage your scarves. Separate it like that so it can really get around your scarf. You want to be careful. You want to get it between your head and the outside of the scarf without puncturing your scarf, and get it there right behind your ear. Do not puncture the scarf. Let's do the other side. Okay, take it, separate it nice and wide. Okay, and then you can mess around with it in the manner that you see fit, but I think that's very pretty. Okay, so can I just tell you a little trick about styling a headscarf like this and wearing it outside and not feeling silly about it? Is that a headscarf like this, a head turban, really looks better with an outfit that looks like it's on purpose. I just did an entire scarf video where I styled scarves with casual outfits. But when you're going to wear a head turban, in order for this to look like it's on purpose, you should wear an on purpose outfit. So this is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a navy blue silk blouse. Yes, it does have a collar, but a silk blouse's soft collar really doesn't bother me. It's not a stiff man collar. It's actually quite beautiful. And I wore a nice pair of jeans and a cute pair of flats. And I'm feeling rather beautiful without having to do my hair. And this turban should stay on for quite a long time. In fact, the longer I wear it, the more these little bits of hair are going to come out and the more natural it's going to look, the more effortless it's going to look. Okay, now we're going to do the larger scarf. We're going to do it in a slightly different way that might work for you. I'd like to add that maybe this red lipstick helps with looking on purpose as well. Okay, you still want to start with pulling your hair back a bit, but no headband just yet, okay? Okay, so actually there's 3 different things you could do. So this is what we're going to do this time. First of all, we're going to use lovely Fiona. Let me just get my small point here with the tag side of it. This is a larger scarf, so it's a little more unwieldy. Okay, this time we're going to put it over the forehead like this, down to the nose. And there's the tag once again. But this time, I'm going to put the headband on top of this. This is a little bit tricky. Like that. And that's going to help me finish tying it without it slipping off my head, okay? Now you're going to bring the long sides around and you are going to tie them again above the triangle in a knot. Now this one is long enough that I can tie it back behind, so we will do that this time. Okay, take your little triangle up and tuck it behind the knot. Now we're going to take these longer sides, because this is a longer scarf. I'm going to tie it back down below. And I feel like that's just going to hug my head a little bit better. And now I've got a little knot down here, so I'm going to tuck that underneath as well. Super pretty. Already I have a couple little bits of hair sticking out, so I'm just going to add to that. And let's pull it back just a little bit to show the hair. I really do think that's the French girl trick right there. Little bits of hair in the front. Now, if you're feeling discouraged because the reason you're wearing a head turban is because of chemo or alopecia, you don't have to show hair up front for it to be beautiful. Not at all. But suppose you wanted to kind of fake that look. They do sell fake bangs that you could tuck underneath if you didn't have hair up here. And I do own some. They're just not styled. So we're going to try them out. They might not look the best, but I just wanted to show you an example of what you could do if you wanted to. I don't know where my fake bangs are, but I do know where some of my fake hair is. My bag of fake hair. So even if you're struggling with baldness for one reason or another and you would like to use a head turban, I think you still should wear the headband underneath for structure for this scarf to have something to really grab onto. You won't be able to do the bobby pins at the bottom. I don't feel the bobby pins are 100% necessary, so that's the good news. And suppose you did want a little bit of hair peeking out. you could get these little bits of fake hair. I have a whole bunch of fake hair here, and I put it in my hair for one reason or another. Sometimes when I want to give it a little illusion of length, but let's do the fake hair on the next tie. I'm going to pin back the top of my hair, and I'm going to use the fake hair up there instead. And I'm just going to assume that I don't really have anything for this hair to grab into, okay? So I'm not going to use the little combs that come on it, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to stack a couple of these little hair extensions on top of each other. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little clipping of the hair into the hair because I want them to be able to hang on to each other. And I'm just going to set them on my head as if there's nothing to hang on to up there. Let's just see how it works out. It would have to be styled, of course. Okay, so I'm not going to clip them into each other. Let's just back up. Okay, so I'm going to take a strand of this hair. It's a very thin strand of hair, so I don't really know what kind of result we're going to get, but you could layer multiples of these. And I'm just going to set it up here. And I'm just going to do a little creative parting. What I would do is run a curling iron over this if I were really going to do this, okay? And just kind of find where your natural hairline would be. Leave it up there. And then you're going to headband this on. I know it doesn't look great right now. Just trust me on this. Okay. All that hair up front is not mine. It is some lady's from the other side of the world. And it's kind of strange that I have it resting on my head right now. That's a weird business. It's weird business. Okay, so I've got my extra hair headbanded onto my head. If I could have attached this hair to my headband, then I would have done it. It would have been a little easier. Okay, we're going to take our little triangle and drape it over the front again. Don't worry about how this hair looks right now. Not on top. I think you've got the hang of this by now. Okay. Now, without grabbing the hair, you're going to grab your little knot. You're going to grab your little triangle and you're going to tuck it under the knot. You know this hair isn't looking great. I'm very aware of that. We will style it in just a second. Okay, now we're going to take our long ends. We're going to tie them back behind. And that's what's going to help this whole thing really stay on. If there's not a lot of hair under there, like if we're not going to be able to bobby pin it on, we want to be able to tie it behind. Now we're going to mess with the hair. And maybe I could use a brush here. But you don't want a whole lot of it poking out anyhow. You just really kind of want to see it, but it's not going to be hanging down. Unless you really want it to. You just kind of want to create the illusion of a hairline. And, you could curl this piece. You could curl this piece so it looks better. But it's one way of really kind of faking having a little bit of hair up front that you don't actually have. People have done worse things than faking having hair. The fake hair industry is a huge billions and billions dollar industry. You wouldn't be the only one out there walking around with a little bit of somebody else's hair on your head. I guarantee you that it's not a problem. You do not have to feel like it is a problem because it's not. So I'm just going to tuck mine in a little bit more. And I think that's plenty pretty. The headband's going to help everything stay on. And suppose I pushed it too far back, I can just pull my fake hair a little more forward. And then I'm just going to re-tuck it back in. And I think that's really pretty. That's not even my hair. Gorgeous. Okay. And if you feel like that shape is too much, you can always tuck in these little points. I actually kind of like them, but if you don't, just tuck them in. And here I am. Ooh. Oh. And here I am sipping my coffee and here I am sipping my tea at the cafe. Okay, so that hair is a problem. I would have to curl that. Okay, I can see that. I can admit it. But right now, we're just going to tuck it inside, okay? And here I am sipping my tea at the cafe. And my hair popping out like that is way better than the last time I was sipping tea at a cafe in Paris and something else popped out. And if you don't know what that is, then maybe you can go watch my older videos. Or you can just ask me in the comments. All right, did we have fun today or what? I love this look. And if you want to talk more about French girl style and you want all of my French girl style for American women tips all in one place, I have made a 29-page handbook for you, an ebook that you can order off of my website, and it puts all the principles in one place instead of watching 1 million videos about French girl style for American women, which is kind of fun, but at the same time, not the most efficient way you can do it. So if you want to get that book, that link is here and below. I'll see you soon.